There comes a point in life when the heart can't take another blow. When you've prayed until your voice cracked, believed until your faith bled dry, and yet nothing changed. You start to wonder, is there any hope left for me? You smile in front of people, but inside something is gone, that light that once made you feel alive. If this is you right now, don't scroll away, stay here, because this message is for you, and maybe, just maybe, this might be the moment that saves your faith. Before we go deeper, please take a second, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's on the edge of giving up. Let's remind the world that hope isn't dead, not while God still breathes into broken hearts. You see, heartbreak doesn't always come from lost relationships. Sometimes it's the heartbreak of unanswered prayers. Sometimes it's the heartbreak of watching a dream die, of fighting battles nobody sees, of giving everything you had, and still losing. Have you ever cried so much that you ran out of words to pray? Have you ever looked up at the ceiling and said, God, I can't do this anymore. You're not weak, you're human. And God never turned his face away from you. But maybe your heart has been so crushed that faith feels like a fantasy now. Maybe you trusted someone who betrayed you. Maybe you were the strong one, the helper, the believer, the one others leaned on. But when you needed help, nobody came. You prayed, you waited, and silence answered back. So now you've built walls. You tell yourself you don't care anymore. You say it's fine when it's not. You laugh while your soul trembles, but deep down you're asking the same question that brought you here. Is there hope again? Listen closely, and yes, there is. There is hope again. Hope doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers through your pain. Hope isn't the absence of struggle. It's the courage to keep breathing when the world feels heavy. Hope doesn't mean you won't cry again. It means that your tears are not the end of your story. Right now, maybe you feel like faith doesn't work. You've tried, you've fasted, you've given, you've believed, and yet everything fell apart. But what if faith is not about getting what you want, but about discovering who still holds you when everything else breaks? God doesn't abandon his children, he rebuilds them. And sometimes rebuilding means letting everything else fall, so he can start again with you. You think your life is over, but you're wrong. It's just a different chapter. One that hurts, yes, but one that's preparing you for strength you never knew you could carry. Someone watching this right now feels like tomorrow doesn't matter. You're tired of pretending. You feel unseen, unhelped, unloved. You're even wondering if it's worth trying again. Listen to me. Don't give up. You're still here because God is not finished with you yet. If he were done, you wouldn't still be breathing. The fact that you woke up today means heaven still has something to say about your life. So right now, if you can, type in the comments, I'm still here, and I believe hope is coming. Let the world see your declaration of faith. Let the enemy know you're not quitting. Because every story that ended in victory once started with pain that almost broke someone. Every man who rose again once thought he never would. Every woman who found strength again once cried in silence and thought God forgot her name. And maybe that's where you are, in the middle of your heartbreak, in the ashes of what used to be. But hear me, God restores. He is not done writing your story. You might be scared to take another step because the last one hurt too much. You might be afraid to love again, to try again, to believe again. But the worst thing you could ever do is let pain convince you that your purpose died with your disappointment. Maybe faith didn't work the way you expected, but faith did keep you alive. It brought you here, and it will carry you farther than you think. Sometimes faith isn't about mountains moving instantly. Sometimes it's about standing still in the storm, trusting that the God who calms waves can calm your heart too. Don't run from the pain, let it refine you. Don't hide from your weakness, let it teach you. The cracks in your heart aren't your shame. They're proof that even broken vessels can still pour out light. There's someone watching this who feels betrayed, abandoned, and forgotten. You've cried yourself to sleep too many nights. You've lost count of the times you said, "I'm fine," while dying inside. But listen, your tears are not wasted. God collects them. He knows the story behind every one of them. Maybe people stopped checking on you. Maybe friends disappeared when life got messy. But God never left. He's been there in the silence, in the chaos, in the waiting. And He's whispering to your heart right now. There is hope again. Don't scroll away. If you're hearing this, this is not coincidence. This is a divine interruption, a reminder that no matter how dark it feels, light is still possible. So let's make this personal. What's the thing you've been afraid to try again? The dream you buried? The prayer you stopped praying? The faith you stopped feeling? Go to the comments and write it down. Yes, write it. Write what you're believing for, even if your hands are shaking. You see, action is faith's first breath. And sometimes, typing out hope is the first step toward healing. If you've fallen, get up. If you've failed, start again. If you're scared, do it scared. If your faith is weak, borrow strength from this message until yours returns. But whatever you do, don't stop believing that there is more for your life. God has a habit of resurrecting what the world calls dead. Lazarus was gone for 4 days, but Jesus still called him out of the grave. Your situation is not too far gone for Him to revive. So yes, there is hope again. Not just any hope, but living hope. Hope that walks with you through the valley. Hope that holds your hand when you can't hold yourself. Hope that speaks life into dry bones. And that same hope is calling you right now. If you can still cry, you can still heal. If you can still feel, you can still change. If you can still pray, you can still rise. This is your reminder. God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't thrown you away. He hasn't stopped writing your story. You might be in the middle of the hardest chapter, but the author is still holding the pen. Don't let pain become your identity. Don't let heartbreak define your destiny. Let it push you closer to the one who never breaks his promises. And when the world says you're done, whisper back, "Not yet." Because God is still working. Now, if this message touched your heart, don't leave without liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear this right now. Don't keep hope to yourself. Be the reason someone else doesn't give up today. And before you go, type this in the comments. There is hope again, and I will rise. Say it like you mean it. Because every time you speak hope, darkness loses its power. Your heartbreak may have changed you, but it hasn't destroyed you. You are still capable of love, still capable of faith, still capable of miracles. The world needs your story, not your perfection, but your perseverance. Let this be your turning point. Let this be the moment heaven looks down and says, "They didn't quit." Because one day soon you'll look back and say, "It was worth it. The pain, the waiting, the tears, they all led me to this moment of peace." And when you do, remember this truth that ties it all together. The same God who let you hit rock bottom did it so you'd discover that He is the rock at the bottom. So stand up, wipe your tears, and take that next step. Even if it's small, even if it's shaky, hope is not lost. Faith is not dead. And your story is not over. Because yes, there is hope again.